Kirk though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Who you with Kirk? I'm out. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk though. I'm out. Welcome. I'm out. Welcome. I'm out. Welcome. I'm out. Welcome to Speak though. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk though. Welcome. I'm out. Welcome. I'm out. Welcome. I'm out. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk though. I'm welcome, I'm welcome to Speak On It, 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 welcome to Speak, 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 Who You With Kirk Dog.
Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kirk Dog. I'm Who You With Kirk Dog. Happy Labor Day to everyone. Hopefully y'all enjoyed your day today. Hopefully y'all had a great time and was safe today. I was going to do some stuff in the yard, but then I had to do some other stuff. And then I went out there and I said, you know what? It's hot. I'm going back in. So I didn't get it done. But happy Labor Day to everyone. Hopefully y'all having a great day. Welcome everyone on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter, DLive is always in the house. And also welcome to Anchor.fm family, where you can subscribe to the show for a very low fee of $2.99 a month. So you can definitely do that. Welcome to the show, Radio Chaos. Welcome to the show. Thank you for always supporting the show. And also, since it's Labor Day, I know a lot of people been grilling. A lot of people ask me, hey, Kirk Dog, are you firing up the grill today? And I said, nope, not going to do it. I did last Sunday. I have to tell y'all about that story. Had to prove a point. So I did last Sunday, and it was pretty good. So I only did it because some of my co-workers, you know how people play around at the job. They like, oh, Kirk Dog, man, they tell me you have an easy bake oven. I said, Lord have mercy. I said, yeah, but that easy bake oven made some hell of a ribs. And they was like, whatever. So I took some to work last week, and let's just say they asking me when I'm gonna bring some more. I'm like, nope. You had your one shot. So that's what I did. I brought it. Hopefully you enjoyed them at that time. And I won't be bringing any more anytime soon. So that's the end of that conversation. And they talked about how they didn't need any barbecue sauce or anything like that. And I'm like, look, if you know how to grill, you don't necessarily need sauce. A good smoker don't need sauce on the meat. It's just naturally good. And they was like, man, that's good. What type of season did you use? Well, I made my own season up. And they was like, man, that's a good rub. It didn't even fall off when you pick it up. No, it didn't. So I'm like, hey, I know my way around the kitchen. I know my way around the grill. So if I come to your house, you saying I'm adding barbecue sauce to it, that means something ain't right. So that's just my opinion. But most of the time, I don't have to. Radio asks, pork or beef? I do pork ribs, either St. Louis style ribs or baby back. The beef ribs that we have here is not enough meat on them, but I do want to get the big beef ribs and do some of those. And just to try them out and see. I've done some of those in the past, the ones they have at the grocery store, but it's really not that much meat on it. It's not worth the money. So basically, you're paying for bones. But I would love to get some beef ribs that had a thick meat by like that on it. That's what I would love to do, and be able to uh, get those together. So did I don't know if do y'all celebrate Labor Day up there, radio? I know you up in Canada. Excuse me. Um, I said tonight I better get me a drink after last night because uh, there was some people they was kind of hyped last night, which is cool. Also, if you are on my personal Facebook page, please take the time and go over to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog, where you can actually live chat with us in the chat room if you decide to chat with us. And so definitely take the time to go over there. Radio said, "Oh yeah, it's a holiday here." Yes, it is. A lot of people is off, but hey, I had no problem with it. I'm off. Enjoyed myself. But I had a lot of work I had to do at home. And one of them, I was going to go out and uh, do some stuff in the yard. And when I finally just got the opportunity to go out there in the garage, it felt good. But when I walked outside that garage, I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, no, I'm going back in. Um, so it was pretty hot. They said it's supposed to be like 92, but I don't know. Excuse me. It felt a little bit warmer than that. So what type of food do y'all eat on Labor Day radio? Do y'all barbecue up there? Do y'all what type of food do y'all normally have for a day like today? Excuse me. That's good. I made a damn good drink. Normally I don't drink that much during the summer, but I decided to give me one tonight because I know a couple of folks probably get upset once we start talking about our stories for the day. And we don't have a whole bunch today, but we are going to talk about Dan Patrick. Yeah, we're going to talk about him tonight. Him and his foolishness. Because apparently Portland have said they're going to boycott Texas. Um, and Dan Patrick, he didn't too much like that. So we're going to talk about him a little bit. He said, no, not really a barbecue type holiday. All the kids are sad. They have to go back to school tomorrow. That's another thing. Kids have to go back to school tomorrow. And hopefully people are being safe because I know a lot of people that work in the school district that is being affected by COVID. So hopefully they are being safe and being able to protect itself. So speaking of protecting itself, let me pull up this email, this tweet Dan Patrick sent out this morning, which is crazy. I don't understand what he even why he even said anything. Said Portland boycotting Texas is a complete joke. A city led by the deprived official allow lawlessness, putting their citizen in grave danger. A boycott would hurt them, not us. Texas economy is stronger than ever. We value babies and police. They don't. I'm gonna let that marinate for a minute because said they value babies. Yeah. Okay. Welcome to the show, Marcellus Smith. Happy Labor Day to you. It's the People Show. And Marcellus, I have a question for you a little bit later. I have questions for you. And I'm gonna ask you I was told to ask some questions. Somebody reached out to me and want to know some stuff about you. So I don't know if you want to send me a message on Facebook, or do you want me to say it out loud on the air? So I was going to send you a message earlier and didn't get a chance to. Um, the radio said they don't seem to buy you babies after they are born. And so, so when I read that tweet, it came out this morning. When I read it, I said, "Look, let me go and respond back to this fool." So I said, at Dan Patrick, the joke will be the so-called leaders we have in Texas. You and Greg Abbott don't want kids to wear masks in school, but you will make a decision for what a woman does with her body, and you shouldn't. Now that's a joke. That's a joke. And then I said, hashtag we will vote y'all out next year, because you will go. We will vote you out. So hopefully people is angry enough to get out and vote and get rid of them, because it's a time that they shouldn't have a right to say anything about a woman should or shouldn't do with their body. But that's the law that Texas have chose to do. Now it's a woman's choice, but that's what they chose to do. They want to be able to tell a person what they can and can't do with their body. Welcome to the show, T-Cal. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for always tuning in. So so my whole thing is for Dan Patrick to make a comment and talking about how good Texas is, but we are one of the leading states of the COVID virus that is going on. Why? Because you don't want to protect kids. You, Greg Abbott, none of you want to protect the kids. You want to send kids back to school. You don't want to have a mask mandate, all because you want to please a certain group of folks. So, Dan Patrick, it might be best you just delete your account, because what you're saying is wrong information. You don't love the babies. You don't value them, because here it is. You want a woman to have a baby, but then you don't want them to protect those babies by wearing a mask. So how do you value the babies? It don't make sense. Now, also, you got to realize, in case you forgot, and let me see if I still have it up, but in case you forgot, you also the same one that said last March that the elderlies would die to open Texas economy back up. So how can you protect the babies in the middle of a pandemic and you won't do anything to even protect them or protect the people of Texas? So don't make dumbass comments like that and think it's just going to go by because you only trying to please a certain group of folks. But what you got to do is represent everybody in the state of Texas and not just one certain group. But you don't want to do that because everybody don't support your ass. So the thing is, you want to please the ones that do support you. And you also the same one that brought up you will pay $1 million if fraud was found in the election out of your campaign fund, which I believe is illegal. But did you ever pay, I believe it was Baltimore, Maryland, that money for, no, it was Pennsylvania, I believe, that actually found fraud. Did you pay them that money? And the fraud was for Trump. It wasn't for Biden. Did you pay them that money? But see, you don't want to talk about none of that. You want to try to throw your weight around, but one thing you can throw around, start throwing your shit in boxes and start packing now for when next year come and the election come up, your ass is out of there. Just like Greg Abbott, Ken Paxton, all of you got to go. So yeah, it's definitely nerve-wracking to see some poor ass leaders like y'all trying to tell a woman what they could do about with their bodies and then turn around and tweet out, we value babies. No, you don't. No, you don't. You value yourself. You value the money that you are making off of Texas. That's who you value. So don't say you value the babies because that's a bald-faced lie. So yeah, go ahead and pack your shit up and get ready to go. But I didn't come here. You didn't come here for all of that. Radio said, do private law firms bring these civil cases to court? If Greg Abbott have several cases against him, I don't know if they private. I want to say one of them is private law firm because here it is. He stopped certain benefits of people that is a high risk for this pandemic. He stopped their benefits, and a lot of people are hurting. So the thing is, it been lawsuits filed. Now, where they are now, I don't know, because since the lawsuit's been filed, the numbers have gone up even more. So, and as we know, Greg Abbott, he loves super spreaders like he did last month in Collin County when 100, was it 250 or 350 people that when he caught COVID was also affected by it. So they had to try to reach out to all those folks. So yeah, they don't give a damn about Texas. They care about that money they're getting. That's it. If you're just not tuning in, you are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I am Who You With Kurt Dog. Want to welcome everyone on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter. The Live is in the house, and also Anchor FM. Definitely take the time. You can chat with us in the chat room. You can also call in. But one rule we have, if you call, well, a couple of rules. If you call in, do not block your number. I would not answer. If you call in, be respectful. Come with facts. And so Dan Patrick, y'all can start packing y'all stuff up. Now, I know it'll take Greg Abbott a little bit longer to do it, but y'all can go ahead and start packing up and get ready to move out because it's time for y'all to go. Your time is up. We're going to vote y'all out come next year. That's why I talk about getting registered to vote. If you're not registered to vote, get registered now. Don't wait until next year to try to get registered and kind of find out you passed the deadline. Get registered now. And also, if you are a felon have paid all your dues, you're not on papers, you paid all your fees, check with your state, you can get your voting rights back. And also go to vote.org and find out. And you can put in, answer a couple of questions, and they'll tell you if you're able to get your voting rights back. Real easy to do, take less than 30 seconds to find out. So definitely do that. T-Cal said, working tonight, change this week, but happy to hear you. I appreciate it, T-Cal. Thank you for always tuning in. Radio said the ride sharing company Lyft said they will pay the legal fees for drivers if they get sued by this stupid law. Lyft and Uber both said the same. They put out a statement last week. And a lot of people are going to other states to get abortions. So unfortunately, that's a choice they having to make. It's their choice. I can't tell a woman what to do with their body, just like anyone else can. But at the same time, it's their choice. If they choose to do that, that's between them and the God they serve. I have no rights to say anything about it. Just like the politicians shouldn't have rights to say anything about it, but they don't look at it like that. And matter of fact, it's lawsuits that been filed against that law also. So they in court trying to get it worked out. Now the Supreme Court did side with them, but I think they did appeal it, and some more things coming out with it. So hopefully they do decide to let it be a woman's choice. That's why Roe versus Wade was done. And with Roe versus Wade, it gave that woman the choice. But now Roe versus Wade is in jeopardy too because of this law. So it's basically the same thing, but it looked like it's going to change a lot of things. And then they open up where people can sue people. I'm like, really? If you can sue them just for dropping somebody off or even giving them information. You can sue them. I think it's up to $10,000 or something like that, which is crazy. T-Cow said you seem fired up and the party just started. Yeah, it is. It is. It just got to, I don't know. It might I'm made me a little cocktail tonight because after last night I needed one. So and that's good. But I normally don't drink much during the summertime because it's hot. It's hot in Texas. So I know you know because you're in Texas. But also this other story came out today, which is crazy. Hold on, let me find. Radio said legal expert expect the Supreme Court to overturn Roe versus Wade. That's what those three justices appointed by Trump were brought in to do. Yes, that's exactly what they was brought in to do. That's why Trump approved the last one so quick, because he didn't want, they don't like it. But at the same time, when you don't know the situation, and the fact that if a woman was raped, incest, whatever, they still would force them to have a child. It should be her choice. Now, also, talking with different females, they like, hey, by the time you realize you're pregnant, the 6 weeks is up. So you don't know. So it's like, to the hell with y'all, you just got to have this child. Then you complain if the person can't afford the child, you'll send them through loops to try to get help. So it's a woman's choice. It's a woman's choice. That's all it is. It's a woman's choice what they decide to do with their body. And that's all to it. I can't tell them what to do or say. Marcella Smith said, you got me curious about what you said earlier. I see you did send me a message on Facebook. So I hit you up on that. I was going to do it earlier, but got tied up. Radio said Trump used to be pro-choice before he ran for president. I guess he got part of that conspiracy theory too. So, hey, that's what people do. That's exactly what they do. You are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, though. If you are on my personal page, you can actually go over to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, though. It's right at the bottom of your stream. And you can actually live chat with us where it will show up on the screen, and I can put it up on the monitor just like I do with anybody else message. So please take the time, whichever platform you are listening on, please take the time to like, share, tell a friend, click the notification, and click the notification and um, uh, let them know we are live. And tonight, I just have a couple of stories I'm gonna hit on, but then we also gonna have Ask Kurt Dog Anything. For the ones that don't know the rules, when it come down to Ask Kurt Dog Anything, um, I won't discuss anything personal, but I will uh, answer you truthfully. So be careful what you ask, because I will give you the right up answers, straight up answer. One thing I did ask at the beginning of the show: who ribs would you eat when it come down to barbecue? See, I judge barbecue by the ribs. I don't care about the chicken. I don't care about the hot dogs, hot links, the brisket. If you can do some great ribs, I feel like you can barbecue. Now, everybody can't do good ribs. Everybody ribs don't taste good. Sometimes you get the ribs that if you light a match, you'll start a fire. They taste like lighter fluid, so everybody can't do that. You have to have a good flavored ribs where you would just say, you know what, before you realize that you realize before you get by the time you get finished eating, you'd be like, man, I didn't even use no barbecue sauce on it. But I understand some people, they don't care how good it is, they're gonna put barbecue sauce on the ribs. I personally, I don't, because when you're able to cook good barbecue, you don't need sauce. Now brisket, I don't do a lot of briskets, but when I do brisket, yeah, I add a little bit of sauce to it. Not that it needed, because it's still good, but I will whip my own sauce up. Now I know it's a lot of people saying that they um, uh, famous for their barbecue, but and stuff like that, and I'm like, everybody can't do barbecue good. And matter of fact, this might be a new trend. I don't know. Um, Maybe we need to try to do a barbecue cook-off or something, and kind of see who make the best ribs. Have somebody on the outside judge it. We might need to set that up, because I know for me, what I do it my way, and it's good. So, uh, Radio said I could do a half decent steak in a frying pan. That's about the top level of my skills. Well, steaks, it depends on the cut of steak. Um, I like a good ribeye, um, but a majority of the time I go for a T-bone, medium, uh, which is real good, long as it's done right. I haven't done none on the grill in a while, but I think I'm a probably end up doing some on the grill soon, just to try them out. Normally, I'll put them in my cast iron skillet, sear them on that, then put them in the. Uh, Depends on who I'm cooking it for. If it's for my wife, I know uh, she like her steak done. For me, I like mine's medium well. Um, Not too well, but more on the medium side. Um, um, so I, but I love a good steak. I do. I don't cook them that much because I eat much healthier than what I have done, and that's why I didn't cook. I didn't barbecue today. Now I always keep ribs in the house. Always. Um, if I go to the store and I see a good price on a couple of slabs of ribs, I get them, put them in the deep freezer, because you never know, especially now. Um, you mess around and get you had game come on, and somebody be like, "Hey man, let's hook up for the game. Come over to the house. I'll pull a flap out or two, and I do that. Now, the only reason why I cooked the ribs last week, like I said, a couple of people at work, they was like, "Oh man, where your big grill at?" I still have it, but I have a new one too. And I told them what it was, and they were like, "Oh, so you have the easy bake oven." Because I can set the timer and don't have to worry about the temperature, just set the temperature and go. But they called it the easy bake oven. So I had to prove them wrong. And now they like, man, that's a that's a good oven. But like I told them, it's not about what you cooking on, it's about the person that's cooking on it. It make a difference. So, but you are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm Who You With Kurt Dog. And Uh, you are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm Who You With Kurt Dog. Welcome everyone on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter. D Live is in the house. And also Anchor FM. You can live chat with us in the chat room. You could even call in 972-591-3665, 972-591-3665. And I'm going to ask another question. Do you ever have folks to show up at your house, don't bring nothing, but eat up everything, then haul off buckets of food, and don't want to help clean up? Radio said if every time people got angry, they just sat down and ate some good barbecue, the world would be a better place. I feel you. I feel you. And I love cooking. I've been cooking for many years. So I I cook my way. I tried a new dish last night. It was something for some reason I woke up about this recipe and I said, you know what? I think I seen it online and I kept saying I want to try it. I want to try it. Never done it. It was great. So just finished it up for dinner today. It was some seared fried chicken thighs and did it with some heavy whip and Parmesan cheese and then spinach in it. And then I had some pasta, served it with some pasta on the side and some more spinach. So it was actually pretty good. So um, I've never done a baked pasta dish. Never done that. But I want to start doing more things. I'm more of a kind of like a soul food cooker, but I try to do other things. I will take a look at different recipes and kind of see, but I will put my spin on it. Kind of like when they was going crazy over those chicken sandwich last year and beating folks up and trying to get those chicken sandwich. I said, well, look, let me do my version of the chicken sandwich. And I did my version of it, and people were like, hey, you might need to start selling these. So they was actually pretty good. I didn't say the company name, but I know how to get around in the kitchen. And so it's always a good thing. We have another story. I didn't get a chance to put it on the what's the name, because I just found out about it. But the Republican accidentally sent a letter to the wrong CEO in attempt to thwart January 6th probe. So basically, what they're trying to do is convince certain CEOs not to release any data, phone data from January 6th terrorist attack that happened at Capitol Hill. So it was sent to Marissa Mayer, who resigned as CEO of the web server and email company more than 4 years ago, rather than current CEO Guru Gowrappan. Um, and this is coming from Fold. The letter was one of more than a dozen sent to company, including AT&T, which we need to talk anyway, AT&T, because I keep getting all the damn text message and uh, from folks I don't know, and y'all need to do something different. I'll be leaving y'all. I'm just telling you up front. I'll go back to somebody else. Um, but also Apple and Verizon, which on Yahoo, by 11 white wing right, I say white, Republican, including Representative Andy Biggs, Jim Banks of Indiana, Andy Biggs is with Arizona, and Major Taylor Greene out of Georgia. The letter urged the companies to decline a request from the January 6th panel to preserve the phone record and data of Capitol rioters, defendants, and others who sought to overturn the election, vying to pursue all legal remedy if they don't. All these 11 names that put their name on this letter, they need to investigate each and every one of them, because there's no way you are standing for American if you are allowing them to go and trying to block the investigation. And we already know Marjorie Greene is a cuckoo for Cocoa Puff case, because the things that she have said and done in the past, and they need to investigate each one of them and see what exactly do they know about January 6th. And not only that, investigate Trump and also his burner phone, because I'm sure he had a burner phone to communicate with them. So yeah, so they urging these companies to decline the request from the January 6th panel to preserve the phone records and data of Capitol riot defendants and others who sought to overturn the election, Biden to pursue all legal remedy if they didn't. So now you threaten them. You threaten them now. You telling them if they don't do it, you threaten them. Say, that couldn't have been me. Because I would have been like, oh, you want to send me a threatening letter? Let me help you out. I'm going to send every record I have. Just like somebody leaked this letter? Yeah, you should. Many of the letter signatures, such as Rep. Mo Brooks, Alabama, and Madison Cawthorn, Republican, North Carolina, who spoke at the Stop the Steal rally outside the White House ahead of the Capitol riot, are likely being targeted by the probe. The letter addressed the likelihood, with lawmakers telling companies they do not consent to the reality call records or data as part of their threat of legal action. Each one of them should be barred from their seats. They should be removed. You are trying to, I don't have the proper word, but you basically trying to threaten them to not investigate this or give up the information. And for American people, the ones that have to split that bill, y'all need to pay attention to these Republicans, to each one of them, because you need to vote them out. They not for you. It said banks were tapped by, where'd it go? I hate when I hit my mouse. Tapped by House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy to serve on the committee in July. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who had the final say over appointment to the panel, vetoed Banks and Rep. Jim Jordan, Ohio, prompting McCarthy to withdraw his other 3 picks. And the other 3 picks probably was the ones that been named in this letter. I would critically recommend he'd never go there again, Rep. Adam Kinzinger, Illinois, said Sunday of McCarthy telling the telecom companies the GOP would not forget, who complied with the request if they retake the House. Kenneth Zinger, one of two Republicans appointed to the committee by Pelosi, said the threat is really bad politics. Really bad politics. You can find this story on Forbes, which is crazy. It's crazy. You will want to have justice done. That's why I said the way they giving these folks a slap on the wrist. No, they should get more time than that. Marcella said, I did some baked chicken, baked beans, and mac and cheese today. That's a lot of starch, Marcella. Need to add some green off in it. I understand the baked chicken is low in calories. Baked beans and mac and cheese, that's a lot of starch. You got to add something green in there to kind of balance it out a little bit. I'll make a hell of a baked beans. I'm not just tooting my own horn. This is what people tell me, because some people would actually, before the pandemic, if I went somewhere and there was a barbecue going on, I would bring baked beans. And hopefully no one else brought baked beans, because they would say, hey, can I add my baked beans to your baked beans? And I'm like, hell no. And I don't know what you put in yours. You don't put everything in yours that I put in mine. And I'm not going to mess my flavor up. And then they end up taking their beans back home. So I'm just saying, you gotta know your way around the kitchen. Radio said obtaining phone record is not against the law. The content of the conversation is not recorded. That's what wiretaps are for, and they required a subpoena. The GOP lying again. They don't want the truth to come out. And actually, in the state of Texas and other states, if you are part of the conversation, you can record your phone call without them knowing. So yes, you can. In certain states, you can. But to receive the records of it, that's completely different. And I can just imagine some of the messages that went out. That's why I feel like they shouldn't take any of them to trial or sentence them until they got the records, for they know exactly what they're dealing with. And I feel like some of these folks they gave a slap on the wrist on, well, guess what? Once it's all said and done, they can't charge them again. So they should have waited until they got all the information, let them sit in jail, get all the information, then take them to trial. Marcella said, if I got something to hide, I would say the exact same thing they said. Exactly. I would too. I'd be like, hey, don't worry about it. Just overlook it. We'll make sure you get that money at the end of the day. Don't worry about it. But at the same time, that's politics. That's politics. And see what they're talking about, they will remember this if the Republicans take over the House again. They probably going to give them higher taxes for cooperating with the panel, or if they decide not to do what they're doing and not give the information up, well, guess what? They probably decide to lower the taxes, get them some type of tax breaks. So the bottom line is, it's a lot of corruption going on with our politicians, and we as a people need to make sure we send them a message that, hey, we need to stop it. We need to stop it. I guess that's what Trump was talking about, cleaning the swamp, because it seemed like we need to clean the swamp in Washington and also our local politicians. I know Dan Patrick probably having a bad night tonight once I seen that tweet and the response I gave him. But guess what? As long as I have a voice, I will make sure you won't get reelected next year. So you nor Greg Abbott nor Ken Paxton, Sid Miller either. Neither one of them. So Radio said, if you want a less stressful life, quit doing stupid stuff and spending all your time trying to cover it up. That's why I don't lie. I'm not a good liar at all. I learned that a long time ago. Because if you ask me something 2 or 3 times, I'm just come clean, be like, yeah, I did it. Yeah, I did it. I said it. So I just prefer to be honest with people up front. Then you don't have to try to remember what you said. I just tell it like it is, keep on moving. Long as I'm speaking my truth, hey, that's your feelings hurt, not mine. I'm gonna just say what I have to say and keep moving. Um, but also, don't forget you can ask me anything tonight. I know it's a lot of people in the chat, and I keep asking people to go to my personal page for the simple fact, not my personal page, my the podcast page. Um, for the simple fact, I can see your chat when you come in, so you can actually go there and then turn around. We can let me make sure because I'm trying to go to it now because it'll mess around and cut up loud on me, and then I'll be like, So you can actually chat live with us. Because they change our system around so much. It's uh, we used to be able to chat from our person and also the podcast page, but now we can't do it. But also take the time out, share it, like the page, let people know. Um, uh, Let people know that we are live and you can live talk with us. And I want to know from y'all, is it anybody food you won't eat? Anybody food you won't eat? I'm a picky eater. So um, oh, I didn't know you were still on, T Cal. I appreciate you for tuning in and try not to work too hard. I understand it's Labor Day. You had to switch your schedule around for it. So definitely try not to work too hard. Um, Radio said, do you like pina colada, the drink, or the song? Like them both. And I also like um, snow cones, pina colada and blue coconut snow cone. But it have to be the yellow pina colada snow cone. That clear, I think they be kind of shorting me a little bit. So, but I do like pina colada. It's a Pina colada is a good flavor for me. Even back in the days when I drove the 76 Cutlass, I would have like pina colada air freshener, and it was just something about pina colada. Um, but tonight, I'm not drinking pina colada. Um, Radio said, I can't eat seafood. It tastes like dirt to me. It depends on what type of seafood you're eating. Um, like, for instance, fish, catfish, catfish in particular. Um, Here in Texas, depends on how the catfish was raised. You can get some that taste kind of muddy, that muddy flavor. I don't like that type of fish. But I do like catfish, but not the ones that it tastes like it came out Trinity River or something like that. But I do like seafood. Matter of fact, my wife and I, we had seafood on Friday. Had catfish, shrimp, and um, it was actually pretty good. So it's only a couple of places I will go and get it, but it's definitely um, I like seafood all type. Um, so I had no problem with seafood, but I don't want that fishy taste to it. Um, don't like the fishy taste. I tried all type growing up, just can't eat it. Even just fish and chips. It depends on what type of fish it is. like now they have different type of fish that is supposed to be more cleaner. When you're a city boy like me, you uh, grew up on catfish. I want some good catfish, but I will eat different type of fish too. Now, I only eat fillets. That's all I would eat. If it's not filleted, if it have bones in it, I don't fool with it. That's just my personal choice. But then again, there's a lot of people love fish with bones in it. I don't, because I don't need to pick through my food to try to get to the meat of it. If I'm eating, I want to eat. And unfortunately, sometimes when you go to some of these restaurants and you get some catfish fillets or something like that, hey, it depends on that restaurant. You may have to pick through it, make sure there's no bones in it. And that's one thing I don't like is bones in my fish. I know a guy that won't eat vegetables under any circumstance. He hate them that much. But you got to do something. I'm sure he don't go to the bathroom as much, but that ain't none of my business. So um, I love I love pretty much all type of vegetables. There's some I'm gonna start experimenting with. I never cooked the eggplant, but I said I want to start cooking them. I tasted them years ago, but it was at a think like an Indian restaurant or something. So, but I said I want to start doing like eggplant stuff like that. But um, I love Brussels sprouts. A lot of people don't like Brussels sprouts. To me, Brussels sprouts are very good. Brussels sprouts, greens, cabbage. I have to have a balanced meal, and that's the way I was raised. You just don't eat just meat. You got to have something to kind of balance it out. Other than that, you might have some issues in the long time. In the long run, I could eat baked potato every day. Baked potato is not bad. I couldn't eat it every day. Um, Now, if I do brisket or something, I will make stuffed baked potatoes and chop the brisket up, put it in there, and put all the stuff on it, and do that. But baked potatoes, I had no problem with it. Sweet baked potatoes are also good. And if I had a grill fired up, I do it on the grill sometime. And I'm gonna give a little bit of recipe. Um, what I like to do is do uh, if I'm baking a regular baked potato. Of course, you clean it off real good. Then what I would do is wrap it up, put it in some foil, wrap it up with some either olive oil or butter, and then along with that, I have garlic, pepper, some kosher salt or sea salt, and some tarragon, and I bake it all together. And if you do that, it gives it such a great flavor. It would actually be real good. Um, One of my cousins is a chef, and I guess it was back in 98, 99, something like that. We just so happened to was cooking one day, and I was at his house, and I started adding stuff, and I made garlic tarragon baked potato, and he was like, "Man, this is pretty good." So since then, that's how I do it. I did find a video of hamburger in a can. Mm-mm. I'm not eating nothing out of a can. No chicken, no hamburger, none of that in a can. Nope, not doing it. Um, I'm sure it did look nasty. Um, Hamburgers is another thing that I do experiment with. I love to have them well seasoned and mix them up real good, and then uh, pat them up real good. Normally, I do hamburgers on the George Foreman grill. Either George Foreman or I don't really put them on the grill that much, which I should do it more. But I'm just um, one of those type that I just don't. I'm not gonna fire the grill up just for burgers, so I just don't do it. Yeah, I do bake. And surprisingly, I do bake. Um, I love doing buttermilk pies, caramel pecan pies. I used to do that every year, sweet potato pies. Um, and when I cook pies, I would have to cook extra, well, have to cook extra because I give them out. Um, which is crazy. I may end up cooking 6 pies or something, and I just keep one for the house, and that's it. But I do bake sweet potato pies, pecan pies, caramel pecan pies. If you never tried that, pull up the recipe. Very good. And also buttermilk pies. Um, I'm thinking that's all that I've done so far. Now I have tasted one of my coworkers a couple of weeks ago brought a lemon pound cake to work, and that cake was delicious. I was like, man, I was like, ma'am, can you make me one? I pay you to make me one. And she said she would, so I'm waiting on it. But hopefully she'll do it. Maybe she got it done since for the holidays or whatever. I don't know. But it was good. I was like, man, I need to go get me another piece. But by the time I went in there, it was gone. So um, so when it come down to cooking, you really cannot miss me on a lot of stuff. Um, I could do anything I put my mind to. Um, I don't know if you ever had seafood dressing before. And seafood dressing is something that I would do during the holidays because it's so expensive to make, and it's actually good though. Seafood dressing is very good, but it do get a little pricey because of the seafood price. Um, but I like it. And then I'll make a gravy for it on the side, a seafood gravy to put on top of it. So it's really good. I used to do gumbo um, every year for Thanksgiving, but I said, well, gumbo is real tricky because if you don't do it right, it will spoil on you. So um, I had to run to the store and come back for something. Or we went somewhere, left it there, and they cut the stove off with all this seafood on it. And I'm like, wait a minute, why is this? Why y'all didn't leave it on low? Oh, we just cut it off. I think we was gone for like 4 or 5 hours or something. And you can't leave gumbo out like that with no heat on it. So that didn't turn out good. I like cake with peanut butter frosting. Peanut butter, I love peanut butter. I haven't done anything with it. Um, I will do brownies too. So brownies are pretty good. Oh yeah, I do homemade soup every year. I do like a chicken soup or just depends on what I'm feeling. Because my chicken soup it's not like a regular chicken soup. It's kind of like a cream soup, but it's all done from scratch. So it can, especially when it get cold, I would do it homemade chili. Um, During the wintertime, we may, if it's cold outside, first cold we get, I make homemade chili every year. And I would use different type of meat in homemade chili. Um, so I would go and hold on real quick. Uh, You are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I am Who You With Kurt Dog. Want to welcome everyone on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter, D Live, and also Anchor FM. You can also live chat with us in the chat room. Had to switch over because the time was running out. We're back with Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. You are listening to us live on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter. D Live is in the house, and also Anchor FM. You can live chat with us, and if you are on Anchor, please take the time to subscribe to the channel. Just a low fee of $2.99 per month. You can catch all the shows, even the shows that we do strictly for Anchor, the behind the scenes shows. Once we start doing those, so it will be great. We will be doing some other shows on Anchor that will be pretty good for everybody. So Radio said, I don't know why it didn't show up on my stream, but he said, I guess cooking chili is like a religion in Texas. It can be, but I do my chili, depends on how I feel. A lot of time, because I try to eat healthier, so a lot of time I would do it with turkey meat or vegan meat, which a lot of people, they'll say, oh, vegan meat is not that good. Don't knock it before you try it. I was one of those folks that said, man, that vegan meat, I want to try it, but I don't know if it's good. Vegan meat is actually good. You can tell the difference once you eat it. It tastes good, it tastes like your regular dish, but you don't feel overstuffed when you eat it. Like I would do, a lot of time I do like vegan meat and spaghettis and stuff like that. And also I may get the vegan meatballs to put in my spaghettis, which is really good also. But a lot of time it's the type of meat you use, it'll cause you to get that itis. And that itis will make you, in the black neighborhood, it make you sleepy once you get finished eating it. So the thing is with that itis, when you use vegan meat, you don't feel that. You don't feel it. You don't feel like, oh, I ate too much of stuff, I can't move. You don't feel that with vegan meat. And so definitely try it. The first time I tried it with my wife, first time I cooked with it at home, I said, well, look, I'm gonna just make something we ain't never had. So I got a package of vegan meat and end up making manwich. Haven't had those since Pappy was a pup. And end up making manwich, and my wife ate one and she was like, oh, that's pretty good. I think I'm gonna give me another one. And I said, well, I'm glad you like it. She was like, why you say that? I said, it's not ground beef. She said, what? I said, no, it's actually a vegan meat. And that's when I knew it was real good. I had already tried it at a restaurant, which is good. I liked it then. So vegan meat is another option also. And I'm not going vegan, but I will cook healthier with vegan meat in certain dish. So I know people be like, oh, you going vegan? No, I'm not to that point, because I still love me some good ribs. And but I don't eat ribs all the time. So even one of my neighbors, he called me up today. He was like, Kurt, you got something on the grill over there? No, I'm not cooking nothing on the grill this week. I did last Sunday. I'm not doing it. He was like, what? And I said, nope, not doing it. Not doing it. I seen him outside yesterday. He was like, Kurt, that's you over there I'm smelling? Nope. Not doing it. Didn't do nothing. He was like, "You kidding, right? I smell some barbecue. Not mine." I said it might be one of the other neighbors, not mine though. But when it's all said and done, um, whatever you put your mind to, you can cook it. I feel like cooking is an experiment, um, because every taste is different. Kind of like the dish I made yesterday. It was an experiment. I never tried it, but it tasted good. I'm like, all right, I like it. Kind of seared the thighs and got the little coat on them. Then added everything in it. Couple of things I didn't do right, and I'm my worst critic when it comes down to cooking. My worst critic, because I tell my wife, since we've been married 14 years, um, I told her, I'm like, look, been a couple of times. I'm like, look, babe, I don't know about this one. And I think only two dishes I made that wasn't good. We both said, nah, can't do this one no more. But other than that, after 14 years, only two dishes neither one of us like. It's like, hey, that's pretty good. Um, yes, whatever you do in life, you should put your best into it, no matter what it is. Radio said it's amazing how much work is involved that those professional pit masters put into their food. Yes, because now I have a huge grill, and Marcellus, I don't know if he's still on, but he've actually seen um, my cousins and I in action with my grill. Before the pandemic, we used to do a cookout every year for my aunt for her birthday. And then a month later, we do it for my mom for her birthday. And so he's seen us in action on the grill. It's a lot of work, um, but I need to get some work done to my big grill. So I'm trying to find somebody who can do some work for it. If you are welder and know what you're doing, holler at me. If you are here locally in the DFW area, holler at me, and um, I'll be able to try to check out some of your work and then go from there because I want to get some stuff done to my big grill, um, and kind of work it out. You understand? But as for a pit master, I want to get into competition when it come down um, to grilling. And that's why I want to get some work done to my big grill. I've been having it for I think 13 years. So I want to get some work done to it, and yeah, before I can do more things with it. But it's definitely a good thing to um, anything you do, you need to put your best into it because that's your work at display. Kind of like doing this podcast. If I come in here and do my best, don't do my best, y'all would know it. Been a couple of times I came on here and I'm like, look, just not into it today. And I'd be like, look, I gotta go. I'm not into it. But anything I do, I always give my best. That's the best thing anybody can do is give your best. And nobody cannot complain. Well, they can complain, but if you know you've done your best, that's all that matters. So, but I do want to get into competition every year at Trader Village, which is west of Dallas. It's a marketplace. They do a competition out there every year. I went out there one year. I didn't compete, but I went out there to kind of see how it goes and stuff. And my thing is, I don't know if they would allow me to do it because everybody that I seen out there, they all put sauce on their meat. And I feel like good barbecue, you don't need sauce. That's my opinion. But I don't know the rules of the competition. If they require that you put some type of sauce on it, that's fine. But I feel like sauce is covering up the true flavor of the meat. And I want my the flavor of my meat to shine. Because if you can uh, eat a rib and it's like, wow, this is great. Um, I I used to sell do barbecue on the side, especially during the holidays, and I would uh, give I would have a side of sauce, but that's because people wanted it. But nah, I feel like if you have good product, people will uh, take it like it is. But some people just gonna eat sauce just because that's what they used to, regardless of how the flavor of the meat is. So, but man, my days are all confused. I was texting Miss Risky earlier, and I'm thinking today was Saturday. I'm like, oh, she like, yeah, I got to go to work in the morning. I'm like, all right, well, have a good night. I'll let you later on this week. But um, I had my days are going to be all off this week. So, but we would definitely continue to do more things. We are in the future. We're working on some things. Hopefully, within the next month or so, we'll have some things in place. I think it will be um, something that will be good for everybody. So we are working on some things and trying to take the show to a whole new level. So hopefully we can team up and do more things. But tomorrow night, um, 8 p.m. Central, we will be back. I know today was a holiday, so a lot of stories didn't really come out, but it's gonna. I'm sure tomorrow all type of stuff gonna come out tomorrow because that story about what the Republicans are doing, trying to block these places, they probably gonna blow it up tomorrow, and which is cool. But we'll be talking about other things, and also I'm gonna express something to people again. I know certain states pass gun laws where you don't need a permit, kind of like Texas. But please be careful. Be careful. I've seen an incident early online, and this actually happened in Georgia. Uh, Two brothers was at a club or something, and welcome to the show, Nisi Hill Morgan, but watching on Facebook. Um, Two brothers was arguing in the club, and one brother, you could tell had something in his hand, and then he leaned up to the other brother and kind of hit him with his head, and the other brother swung on him. Well, he swung on him, and the guy, what he had in his hand was a gun. Shot 3 times in the club. I think 3 people was wounded, and I think it was a shooting at a near a club here in Dallas last night. I don't know all the information on that. And then there was another shooting somewhere else. But please, just because you're able to purchase a gun, have enough willpower. Just because you have this gun, don't go out there and pick fights. Now, what I've seen in this video, because the person who did the shooting was the aggressor, they was having a conversation, but once that shooter leaned and his head made contact with that guy's body, he had every right to defend himself. He didn't only because it was kind of like a table between them, and he leaned his head into him, and that's a problem within itself. So you violated that and think you're going to get away with the fact you feel like it's justified because he hit you. Even because he hit you, it's not justified because he didn't hit you with something that's gonna injure you. Or yeah, you could get injured, but it's not gonna kill you. It's not designed to kill you. Your life was not a immediate threat. But unfortunately, some people who can't throw those bees, they don't fight no more. They prefer to pull a weapon before they do anything else. But I'm like this, brothers. If you got an issue with a brother, let's come together, work it out. That's all it is. I don't know what the situation was with in that particular setting, but here's the problem. You're in a club and he was allowed to get in this club with a firearm in his pocket. That's going to be a problem because that establishment, 9 times out of 10, is going to be sued. Going to be sued because you're in a club who should have security because you're selling alcohol. And unfortunately, it's going to be lawsuits to come out with it. Radio said that's the problem when people get angry and gun is nearby. It can lead to a tragic event. Yes, it can, because people just don't know how to communicate. I'm like this: if I'm somewhere and I accidentally bump into somebody, I'd be like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry." Yeah, I'm a solver. I'm gonna try to do everything I can to keep everything peaceful. That's all you can do. But some people, unfortunately, have chips on their shoulders and they don't care about that. They feel like it's a sign of disrespect, but it's not. I don't know if they was arguing about the table. I don't know what it was, but it shouldn't have came down to a shooting, which that's what we need to get away from because now you have 3 people shot and you going to jail. And if any one of them pass away, guess what? You're going to jail for life. So your life is over too. Think about the decision before you do it. Think about the decision. Um, Radio said, I remember some basketball player went to a club with a gun in his sweatpants and he ended up accidentally shooting himself. Yeah, that was it a basketball player or a football player? That happened in New York, if I'm not mistaken, either New York or Jersey. Um, Pasio, what was his name? I think he played for New Jersey. Um, golly, uh, I can't remember his name, but yeah, I think he was a wide receiver or a cornerback for them. But yeah, he ended up shooting himself in the leg. He lied about it. And then, of course, once they did the investigation, they realized he shot himself. And basically, he ended up doing 6 months to a year in jail or something like that. Pastor Blood, golly, what is his name? Pastor Burleson or something. But I know who you're talking about. But yeah, that was a football player that happened to. All because he was running upstairs with a gun in his pocket and ended up shooting himself in the leg and lied about it. So he ended up doing his time. And I think they got him for illegally carrying the gun or something. Placido Burles. I can't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about. I remember that story. I think it happened in the early 2000, like maybe 2010, between 2007, 2010 or something like that. 2007, 2010, something like that. But yeah, I know who you're talking about. I remember that story. Also, I didn't mention it last night. I know we're going through a trying time now. A lot of people are going through a lot of stuff, stress, lost of loved ones sick. I see the messages on social media. Please pray uh, for my family and all of this. I want to let y'all know, please do not carry this burden by yourself. Please don't. Um, whatever you're going through, help is there for you. You can easily go, if you work, go to your HR, ask about the EAP program, Employee Assistance Program. Say, hey, I need some help. I need some help. And you can get free counseling, not just for you, but also for your kids, your family, your immediately family, your spouse, and your kids. Just go to your HR, ask about the EAP program, and they will provide the information for you. Because right now, we're all up under some type of stress. But if it's the workplace, having to go back into the office, you're stressed about your kids having to go to school and they don't want them to wear a mask, having to deal with racist folks, having to deal with whatever it may be. Don't deal with it by yourself. Please get some help. And if you are in the DFW and need a counselor, you can reach out to me. I can recommend you to a counselor that can provide help for you. If they can't help you, they will send you to someone that can help you. So definitely don't be afraid to ask for help. I take counseling every Tuesday. And um, trust me, it's a wonderful thing. Matter of fact, I had to tell my supervisor, look, Tuesday I go to counseling. He was like, is it work? Yeah, it's working. Because if it's not, I'll come up in here and probably cuss everybody out up in here. So yeah, it's working. It's working real good. So don't try me. And I'm just saying. Um, Radio said then there was another athlete who was showing his friend around his house while carrying a loaded shotgun and accidentally shot him. Yes, that happened. I kind of think it was a Baltimore player, but I'm not quite sure. But I do remember that story. And he was showing him a shotgun. The shotgun accidentally went off. First of all, if you are showing someone a gun, well, first of all, you shouldn't be showing no one your guns. But if you are handling a gun, first thing you need to check to make sure that gun is not loaded. I don't care what type of gun it is. You need to make sure it's not loaded. And if you don't know for sure, don't touch it. You don't just get it and grab the book and grab the trigger. No, make sure that gun is not loaded. But if it's a shotgun, pistol, automatic, whatever, make sure it's not loaded. Because if not, somebody can and will get hurt. It may not happen the first time, but it could happen the second or third time. So unfortunately, that particular player ended up losing his life behind it because he handled the gun and did not handle it properly. That's why people need training. I guess it was last month or so. Um, last month or so, that a young lady, I think it happened up in New York. Young lady just stopped the car in the middle of the road, walked up and shot this other woman in the head. Walked back to her car and drove off. I don't know what the situation was. It was no incident that happened right then. The lady was up on the sidewalk. She just casually walked up to her, shot her in the head, got back in the car and drove off. Now she's in jail. The lady is dead and her life is gone. So shotgun injuries are devastated. Yes, it is, because with a shotgun depends on what type of shells you have in there. Now, a shotgun is great for a woman for protection. And I say that because if you have um, butt shots in there, you don't have to have a straight aim. If you've been attacked by multiple people, someone break into your home, you can just aim in that direction. And to be honest with you, a lot of folks, if they hear that clack clack, they gone. 'Cause they know they don't have a chance. They hear that clack clack, they don't know what type of shells you have in that shotgun. They're not gonna stick around and try to find out either because they already know. Only thing you got to do is port in the area and pull that trigger, and they can actually lose their life right then and there. There was a woman who shot her own son at a gun range. People have to know the safety, especially at a gun range. Um, Only should be one person in the stall while you are shooting at a time. And unfortunately, some people, when they're shooting, they don't. If it's their first time shooting, they scared to shoot. Then, if they don't hold the gun right and that fly come by, it can cut your hand. And some people would drop their gun and it would oh, and it would go off again. Where was this at? Says she did it intentionally. Where was this at? Because I haven't heard about that. Now I did hear something about a woman. I think she shot her son in the parking lot. They was arguing or something, and she shot and killed him, or something went down. That happened a couple of months ago. Um, but let me know where that was, and um, but I'm excited. What's tomorrow? Tuesday. Um, so yeah, you'll have to let me know where that is. Oh, and radio. Before I go, I was gonna send you this clip. I heard somebody egg the Trump wannabe up there. I seen the video of it. I don't know if you seen that or not, but I did see the video. Uh, oh wow, it's a video. Did you see the video where um, the guy Ed, yeah, presidential candidate or your prime minister candidate up in Canada, the the uh, the uh, the one that you said that is like Trump. Um, Somebody came up and talking to him and shook his hand and they taking a picture and then all of a sudden he just came around, shot with an egg on the head. I'm gonna send you that video if you haven't seen it, and it was funny. So I felt like it was pretty funny because I said, yeah. I told my wife I need to send this to radio, and I forgot about it. Got tied up. So, but I send it to you as soon as I get off the air. I email it to you. I was gonna. Well, I don't have. Yeah, I email it to you and do that. But hey, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Time, we will be live again. Um, And then we got, see, I'm still thinking tomorrow is Thursday, but tomorrow night we will be live again tomorrow if the good Lord say the same. I appreciate everyone for tuning in tonight. Everyone that made comments, everyone that didn't, everyone that dropped in just to see what was going on. But I will send a message to Dan Patrick, Greg Abbott. Start packing your stuff because it's time for y'all to go. Your time is up. We're gonna vote you out next year. So until tomorrow night, I love each and every one of you. Peace.